For 2025, Bailey's Adamo range has got a bit bigger, quite literally really, because there's now an XL range. The standard Adamo was under 3.5 tonne, which means you could drive it on a standard Car B licence. Now the XL range is on a 4,250 kilo chassis, which means you need a C1 category. But let's have a walk around outside and I'll just talk you through what's involved in the C1. So I've come up to Bailey's Bristol factory to look at the new Adamo XL, and these are pre-production models, so there may be a few different changes, like the badging up here. It says 80-4T, that will just be a T. And on this particular model, it means it has twin beds. So it is the Bailey Adamo XLT. Now the C1 category, I'll just go through that while I walk around the motorhome. If you passed your test before January 1997, like I did, there's a good chance you have C1 category included anyway. If you pass your test after January 97, you may need to take an additional test. Now my daughter has just taken the test. You take a theory and then you take a practical test, and that's it. That is all you need to do to get your C1 category. So features on the outside. So we have the gas bottle here. We have obviously the vent for the Truma Combi. That's a Truma Combi 6E in there. So that is quite a beefy unit. That's with gas and electric, that's up to 6 kilowatts of energy. And we have here, I assume that's water. Yeah, water inlet here. Now obviously being a motorhome, it will have inboard tanks. But if you want the ease of filling, you can fill it from here. Now, the garage here along the back, we'll open it the other side because I know the door's open. Importantly, reversing camera here, nice new graphics, and you can fit a cycle rack to the rear. So the garage. So there's a large garage here. As I said, this is a pre-production model. There will be lashing points on the floor to hold all your essentials in place. And if you'd like to look after your essentials, let's face it, who doesn't, there should be heating points. You know, one of the vents for the blown air will come into the garage. There's also two 30 volt and a 12 volt socket there. What have we got behind here? Oh, right, okay. Now, if you're draining your water system down and you have an Adamo XL, there's a good chance it's in the garage, cubby hole on the left. There's the yellow toggle switch to drain it down. So that's the garage. Oh, hang on. Ah, yes, right. On the T, the twin bed model, there's a sliding door here. Let's just say, for argument's sake, you have a dog crate or something here, or, you know, expensive push bike. You want to make sure everything's ship-shape in the back. You can open that from inside just to make sure all's well. And we've got a rubberized floor. I know it's a gas drain, but would that serve as a drain point if you had wet coats here? Possibly. And the sides here are carpeted. Now I did spot the services, or the last service here, electric point towards in this side of the cab, up the front, and obviously the all-important toilet cassette emptying point there. So moving into the XLT, should we start with the twin beds, because that is what the T is named after. Now this isn't dressed. Normally when you see the videos, you'll see these nicely made up with duvets and pillows and cushions and all that sort of thing. But I thought I'd take the opportunity to show you how it is at the factory, because it's slightly easier to see just how much storage you have. So the storage here, obviously this isn't the garage. The garage is behind that bulkhead there. But this is how much storage we have in this bit. So there's plenty of storage here. There's even a hanging rail for your essentials. And a door there. I'm assuming it's the same on the other side. Yeah, slightly different configuration, but not by much. So again, I'm just going to have to see what is in there. Okay, yeah, there's your water tank there. So bedroom wise, large window either side and a hecky above. So if EastEnders is on the telly and you can't bear to watch EastEnders, just go to bed, do a bit of stargazing. So plenty of storage above the bed, obviously USB points either side. And you know, if you've got a colossal book, lots of magazines, or you need, I don't know, eye mask, earplugs or other nighttime essentials, you're not going to go short on space. Now that cupboard door I mentioned, this slides open, you've got the garage just there. Now there are steps up to the bed and the space hasn't been wasted here either. I don't know, what do you want to put under there? Slippers, more books, shoes. And again, if you've taken more shoes, slippers, more books, shoes, so plenty of room in here. And if the bed's addressed, you can access the storage underneath, like so. And again, there's one that side too. So let's move towards the middle of the XLT. So the washroom is split into two sides. So we have the shower this side, full length shower, hanging rail above. Again, if you've got wet coats, come back, hang on there, they drain into the shower tray. So large shower here, obviously that's over the wheel arch. But the door configuration here means you can shut off either end. Now I would say this is arguably a good couple's van because it is a twin bed, but we have a double bed up here. We'll come to that in a minute. So if you do have guests this end, this toilet door here can either be used to close off this end. So you have a self-contained bedroom this end, and you can access the loo in the middle of the night should you wish to. And it's the same this end too. So if you're sleeping down this end, you can close the other end off with that sliding door, solid wooden door on runners. And if you need to use the loo, that door will be shut. You're not going to disturb anyone at the other end. So loo wise, there's Belfast style sink, storage below. I believe there's more storage behind that mirror. Yes, there is. And the all important loo here. In the middle, you've got plenty of dressing room, or you can just step back into the bedroom to get dressed. There's more hanging space as well. Kitchen wise, in the XLT, the kitchen is in the middle, and we have an extending flap here. So if you want to cook that adventurous meal, you've got all that workspace to play with. Now when you're cooking, all you do is lift up the flap here. Is that going to hit that? Yes, it is. Let's move that as well. Lift up the flap, lift up the glass cover, and then you have a dual fuel hob. So that's one electric plate there, 3 gas burners, separate grill, separate oven. And much like, is it the Unicorn range and the Alicanto, we have this flexible swan neck mixer tap. So if you are washing up, pull it out, rinse off pots and pans, etc. before you get stuck into the washing up proper. Cutlery drawer there, more storage below, and obviously lots of cupboard space, food space above. Opposite the kitchen, we have a large fridge. That is 150 litres for the fridge compartment, and from memory, 17 litres for the freezer compartment. There's also a telly point here, and there's one in the bedroom. I believe it's this side against the back of the wall. So wherever you want to watch telly, whether it's from the lounge or from the bedroom, you're covered. And the control panel is here as you come into the door. Grab rail here. I mean, that's going to be keys in there, surely, isn't it? So you come in, keys in there, grab rail, shoes off, and you're in. So moving to the front, just behind the cab. So this is the lounge. The front seats here swivel round. So these are captain's chairs. They swivel round, and you can seat, well, this is a 4-berth. You could easily seat 3, 6, 8 in there if you wanted to. And Now under here, travelling wise, it's a 4-berth. It's quite often the case with motorhomes where you may have multi-berths but not enough travel seats to accommodate everyone. There are travel seats under here. So what you do, take the cushion off, there's the travel seat, you get that handle, turn it, the seat pops up, fold this back, your feet go in there, and you have a proper seat belted travel seat so that everyone you're travelling with can do so safely. Now we have a bed up here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this one-handed. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, there we go. I have got the extender down, so I'm going to be careful. So that is a double bed up there. The reason I like these is because they're already made up. When it's time to go to bed, if you're using a drop-down bed, you push that button, your bed is ready-made, ready for you to get in. Now when it's morning, all you do, push the button, and the bed goes out of the way. You're ready for daytime mode. So cab wise, this is based on a Ford Transit chassis. So from memory, automatic gearbox, 2-litre engine, 165 horsepower. I believe that's the same for all the range. Now you have a large infotainment system. Is that what they call it here? So that has on it, you can have your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You can run your sat nav through it, or you could use Google Maps or Waze on that screen as well. And then we have another large skylight above. So that is the Bailey Adamo XLT because it has twin beds. So let's move on to the Adamo XL DL. Now this has the correct graphics on it. The DL stands for double lounge or dual lounge, but we'll come to that in a minute. Let's just start with the garage. Slightly different layout on the garage at the rear. This one has the lashing down points here. There's a freestanding table in the XL models. They live in the garage like this. And on this particular model, the DL, the sliding door is up the top here. So you can access things here, or this lifts out of the way if you had, I don't know, your sequin cocktail dress that is about 8 foot long. You can easily store it here with that amount of hanging space. So moving on to the inside. Let me straighten that cushion before we look at the dual lounges. So the first lounge is to the front by the side of the cab. So we have an L-shaped lounge section there and a straight section here. Bedroom above, bed above, we'll come to that in a sec. But this is the bit I really like, this U-shaped lounge at the back here. Tons of space. So, you know, if you do travel as a family of 5 and you've made even more friends on site, or the kids have brought around friends, lots of space here. The freestanding table would sit here, and can I do this with this cushion on top? Yes, I can. This pulls out to make into a single. Now it is a large single. I don't think you could possibly call that a double, but it's a large single here. And importantly, when it's time to go to bed, you have that drop down bed above. Controls for which are here. As there are 2 drop down beds, we have to select which one we want. So we're going to press rear, and I'll see that bed drops down. Now I haven't dropped the bed all the way down, but it just gives you an idea of how much space you have. You could either drop it to this level, someone could use the single bed below, or you can drop it right down if you want to make it a bit easier to get into. So that's the bedroom there, and obviously when it's daytime, come back here, make sure that's on rear, and the bed goes back in the ceiling. and when it's at the top, the lights come back on. So let's talk about the front lounge. Obviously that L-shaped I mentioned, long sofa here. Now if you are travelling as a family of 5, it's important to note that we have 5 dedicated travel seats, all with seat belts. 2 here, seat belts above, and as with the T, it has a collapsible travel seat. So under here, there's the belted travel seat. Cushion off, turn that knob, hold that knob, and then lift that up, and then you have your travel seat. So in the middle, the kitchen is in a slightly different configuration to the T. So it's more, could I call that L-shaped? We'll go with L-shaped. So L-shaped kitchen here. Again, swan neck mixer tap, all your controls, 230-volt socket, and exactly the same lift up cover, dual fuel hob, separate oven, separate grill. And we have the same fridge freezer, 150 litres. There we go. So 150 litres for the fridge, including the salad drawer at the bottom. And then we have the 17-litre freezer compartment at the top. Opposite the fridge is the washroom. So we have the shower tray, loo, Belfast style sink, storage here, and as with the last one, we have that vanity unit with more storage behind. Now, as you'd expect, the cab is identical. The display is on this one, so it just gives you an idea. If you are traveling places, you've got a nice clear view of that screen if you're using it for a sat nav, or if you are wanting to listen to the best of Boney M, One Direction, whatever takes your fancy, it's all there at the touch of a button if your phone's plugged in. So that is the Bailey Adamo XL DL, because it has 2 lounges. And the third model is the Adamo XLI. There are probably no prizes for guessing that it stands for Island Bed, but we'll come to that in a sec. So we have generous size lounge here, lots of room for sitting, laying down, watching the telly, because the telly point is here. That's alongside that large fridge, again 150 litres, 17 litres freezer, and there's a drop down bed above. Again, we have the kitchen to the side with an extendable flap, and we have dual fuel hob, separate grill, separate oven, storage above and below. So the bedroom's at the back, but before we take a closer look, let's just have a look at the washroom, which is in the middle. Now again, this has a solid door either side, so this has a sliding door that shuts this section off. The loo door, again, shuts off that section. So it gives you lots of room in the washroom, shower, obviously dressing room here. And we have a vanity unit above, storage behind, Belfast style sink, and more storage below. So let's move on to the bedroom. So again, that large island bed here, this will pull out. It's quite handy seeing it when it's not dressed, because you can see that then pulls out, the flap at the back folds back, and you have a really large bed here. Shaped wardrobes either side, and again a hecky above and a window either side of the bed, and importantly lots of room either side. So if mobility is key for you, then you can walk down here. This is a step up, and the bed, I mean, it's just above knee height for me, so it's nice and easy to get into the bed. And then when it's time to get up in the morning, kitchen here, make your breakfast, make yourself a coffee, and take a seat here with that freestanding table that fits in the middle.